So good morning, everybody, and welcome to this second webinar for the ONTOCHAIN Open Call 2. I would like also to acknowledge the presence of our seven final team of the Open Call 1. For today, I just would like to remind that this session, this webinar is recorded, and you will have access to it later on whenever you want. So just a few words regarding ONTOCHAIN. As many of you has probably been part of the first webinar, just a few words. So ONTOCHAIN was launched in September 2020 to empower innovators and end users with 3 open calls to develop blockchain-based knowledge management solution that will be part of a novel software ecosystem for a better share of knowledge and value. We are actually at the stage of the Open Call 2, and we will come back to it later on. So there is up to €2 million funding and mentoring program with the best international experts in semantic web, linked data ontology, engineering, blockchain interoperability, knowledge management, distributed and decentralized computing, business model for trust knowledge, and so forth. The objective of ONTOCHAIN, we all know that the internet of the future should be more resilient, trustworthy, and sustainable. And that is why the objective of ONTOCHAIN is to develop new software technology stack at the meeting point between the semantic web and the blockchain to enable trustworthy data and services exchange, as well as trustworthy content and link for different domains, such as e-education, e-health, e-government, and so forth. The ID card of the Open Call 2, the aim is to develop the protocol suite and software ecosystem foundation based on the specification elaborate in Open Call 1. You will see that with the project. Indicative timeline, so it has started the 15th of July. The call will close the 15th of September. There is up to €145,000 as maximum funding per applicant. You will be directed towards long project or small project, depending on your proposal and the evaluation. The Open Call 2 is around 6 topics plus 1. So these 6 topics are decentralized oracle for ONTOCHAIN, market mechanism for ONTOCHAIN, ONTOCHAIN interoperability and API gateways, ONTOCHAIN network design and scalability, semantic-based marketplaces for ONTOCHAIN, data provenance in ONTOCHAIN, and of course the added open topic 1 that should be an added value for ONTOCHAIN and responding to the frame that is about to be elaborate. So the agenda for today is my colleagues, Alberto Caramella, will go through the ONTOCHAIN framework and the Open Call 1 project inside, so that you better understand what has been done till now. And then our 7 final Open Call 1 projects will deliver, let's say, their first outcome in order for you to construct eventually your proposal. So the first project will be ONTO-SSI Vault, Gimli, then Hibi, then Copyrightly, Knowledgex, Reputable, GraphChain, and Pop4Commerce. We will then move to the frequently asked question, and finally we will finish with the live question and answer. So I will leave now the floor to my colleague Alberto in order to elaborate on the ONTOCHAIN framework and the 7 Open Call 1 project inside.
Hello. I will present first the ONTOCHAIN framework. And this slide presents the ONTOCHAIN framework in the sense of also of different calls. In the first call, we have the first year, we have accomplished these functions with underline in green now. Then in the second call, which is the objective of this one, we will deliver functions in blue. And then in the third year and the third call, we main deliver applications. And this has been put in red. As far as the function delivered in green, if you can see in this slide as data provenance and other functions, there is also very small mention of the project will accomplish that. But I prefer to go to the following slide, which present in a table very summarizing what project have been done. And next, this one. And you see that project can be considered belonging to 3 categories. There are categories of horizontal SDK, essentially from self-sovereign identity. And here there are 2 projects, ONTOSys Vault and HIBI. Then there are 3 projects which provide vertical solution but structure as microservice. And in that case, we have Copyrightly, Knowledgex as reputable. Then we have other 2 categories, a semantic database implemented by GraphChain and ontologies implemented by POC4Commerce. In this table also in the third column remains feature supporters, which are single self-sovereign identity for ONTOSys Vault and EPI, authorship and reuse for Copyrightly, data privacy for Knowledgex, and reputation management for Reputable. The GraphChain project, of course, integrate semantics and blockchain, and POC4Commerce integrate ontologies. In the final columns, it is also mentioned some we can be added by some project, as for example, utility token for facilitating the service, and it is interesting. But I prefer to, given this framework, to give the framework to a project in this order, which reminds us how they fit in the whole architecture.
So thank you, Alberto, for this presentation. Let's move to the 7 final Open Call 1 project to have a bit more detail. So ONTOSSI Vault, please.
Yes, hello everybody. Our project, the ONTOSSI Vault, is best understood in the context of something called self-sovereign identity. Self-sovereign identity is an emerging standard, and it's a different approach to digital identity and identity online. In the current approach of identity, things tend to be centralized, and the locus of control is not with the user. So what this translates into is that you're not in control of your data, communication might not be secure, and you're not empowered. self-sovereign identity is based on different layers. We've got layer 1, which is based on the identifiers, and this is where blockchain is leveraged. We've got layer 2, which is about establishing secure connections. And we've got a third layer, which is about exchanging little pieces of information with cryptographic proofs that you know, okay, this piece of information did indeed come from this entity. So combining all those is a technological challenge, and that's where our project comes in. We've created an SDK that allows you to set up a SSI wallet. And so that allows you to receive these cryptographically proved pieces of information. We call them credentials. You can store them in your wallet. You can choose who you share them with. You can choose which ones you receive. In other words, you get a lot of granular control over all your data. Another thing that this enables is that you can also set up with an external party, for instance, a website you'd like to log into. They can implement a little piece of code, and then together you can implement a passwordless login. So because your identity is stored inside your wallet on your phone, you won't need a username or a login. You can just connect securely and log in that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Of course, you will have the chance to ask some question to the speaker at the end of the presentation. So let's move now to Ibi.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to present you HIBI today. HIBI stands for Human Identity Blockchain Initiative, and our goal is to provide real-world identities in the form of self-sovereign identities or verifiable credentials to the ONTOCHAIN ecosystem. So we are actually very compatible with Gimli and their ONTOSSI Vault product, and we act, so to say, as the root of trust. So what we can do is we take European eIDAS compliant ID cards that contain the name, surname, address, and stuff like this, and can, based on that, derive a verifiable credential and sign it and present it then to, let's say, a wallet like Gimli's, where they can store it in their wallet. And here they can then share it with third parties. Here in this diagram, you can see on the right bottom corner some of the projects that can consume the services. It's a standardized protocol, so it should be for everybody relatively easy usable if they comply with the standards. And the second module that we developed in the HIBI SDK, so it's also some like a library, a set of functions that you can integrate into your services. And the second module we have is a smart decentralized key recovery system. So based on the ID cards, or for instance, the Tangen crypto cards, we have a unique and restricted identifier, and we can use that to back up any form of secrets. This could be your private keys, or this could be an entire backup of the wallet. And we don't really differentiate with that. We are very agnostic. And we share these secrets with Shiny secret sharing, and then store it in a decentralized storage grid. In this case, with storage. The benefit here is that storage is very decentralized and opaque. So even if you run a node, you don't see what you're actually storing. And yeah, these are the two modules that we provide to ONTOCHAIN. First, the EID verifiable credentials, and second, decentralized key management systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to copyright, please.
Okay, hello. I will be speaking about the copyright project in the context of the ONTOCHAIN project. Copyright is basically about trying to make it easier to manage ownership of especially content, multimedia content, but also data can be included into that. To do that, the idea is that anyone can do an authorship claim on chain, so it gets registered on blockchain. And additionally, to add evidences supporting that claim. This can be first the claim associated to uploading to the centralized storage, simply the image or the video itself, and then the evidence can be any kind of document that might support that claim. It might be, for instance, a picture of someone, if it's a painting, in the action of painting that actual that actual work. In addition to that, one problem here might be that anyone can claim the ownership of anything, even if they not actually own that. The idea is disincentivized by the fact that everything gets registered on chain. So in case of litigation, and if you have made a false claim, it can be brought to court. And in many countries, it's already a fact that all the registries on chain can be used on court and used as a proof. Okay. It's not automatic, but it's with the help of an expert, the judge can accept that. And in addition to that, in order to facilitate that process and not depend just on things going to court, our idea is also to implement what is called a token curated registry. In this case, we're using token specific in this case for this project that follows a curve. It's the more it's sublet, the more the price. The idea is that anyone is motivated to invest in this token if they are confident that it's going to be used because the price is going to go up. And the restrictions in this case is that you can just mint this token in association with an authorship claim. So you have to put your stake on it, okay? And it can be lost. So this also disincentivizes false claims. We also envision that you can also offer under specified risk conditions your creations once they have been consolidated on chain. So this can constitute a based layer for other projects that need this kind of features to claim ownership on things and also offering under certain conditions its reuse. That's all from my side.
Thank you. So let's move now to Knowledgex. Just a second. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's the right slide. Hello, everybody. My name is Marcel. I'm talking about Knowledgex today. So Knowledgex is a project in ONTOCHAIN where we created a marketplace where data scientists and data owners can come together on gig-based work. You can imagine that something like a freelance working place. Plus, in addition, we are offering for these freelance gigs a trusted environment using confidential computing paradigm, especially using the EXEC framework. Our platform is basically based on microservices that are all open source. We have a front end where people can interact with our application to create new gigs, basically state what they need. So a data owner goes there. I have here 2 terabytes of time series data from my IoT devices. I need someone who does anomaly detection. Then the data owner goes to the marketplace, creates a gig. Our services in the back end finds the best suited data scientists and lets them create a contract that we store on the blockchain where it says the agreements between them. We have therefore different services for managing gigs, for creating, for matchmaking gigs, for managing users, and also for executing the work of these data scientists in trusted execution environments. All these things are implemented in microservices in Java that can be potentially reused in your applications together, or our application as a whole is exposed over a REST API where you can just use it as it is. Yeah, and feel free to come up with anything that somewhat fits into your plan. If you have any questions on how to integrate that, please feel free to give me a message.
Thank you. Let's move to Reputable.
Hello. Hi guys, my name is Junaid. We're presenting the Reputable project. The Reputable project actually focuses on a specific need, which is to have a trustworthy marketplaces, trustworthy interaction with between a consumer and a seller, for example. So as one of the focuses, one of the aims of the ONTOCHAIN is to develop a marketplace which is a trustworthy place for consumer seller interaction. So reputation is very important. In this case, we're focused on reputation of specifically reputation of the seller, and we leverage blockchain technology to develop a decentralized reputation system which is reliable and calculates a verifiable reputation score of those sellers. Specifically, we're looking to develop the reputation for external services that are external to the blockchain core, but interact with the blockchain ecosystem, which is in this case the ONTOCHAIN. Few things that we have prioritized, which are important, we think, for any reputation system, are the anonymity of feedback, so that a malicious seller or a curious seller may not be able to know individual feedback provided by a user. Secondly, we also use cryptographic measures to make sure that only those consumers who actually have a genuine transaction, made a genuine purchase, are able to provide feedback. We use homomorphic encryption to develop an aggregate reputation score for individual service providers. This aggregate score then is based on all the reputation data provided by, or feedback provided by individual consumers, to provide an overall score, such as you can see a 5-star rating. In this case, what we're considering is 1 to 5 scale to develop the aggregate score. Alongside the aggregate score, which is verifiable, we also capture and maintain provenance of the reputation score. So when a user provides the individual feedback about a specific seller, we capture metadata around that transaction as well, and store it using smart contracts onto the blockchain, so as to maintain the provenance of the reputation scores. Now, once we have an aggregate reputation score, we have captured the provenance data. Of course, we wanted to be able to interact with not only human users but other systems and services, which is why we expose the aggregate score, aggregate reputation score, through an off-chain service, which publishes a programmable API as well as a dashboard whereby a human user can interact with it. That's all for now for this project. If you have any queries, please feel free to get in touch and we can have further discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to GraphChain now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tomasz and I am presenting GraphChain. So what is GraphChain? GraphChain is a distributed graph database management system for on-chain data management integrated with blockchain. In other words, storing semantic data in on-chain mode in native semantic formats. The generic use case of our technology is the trusted, irrefutable, confirmable, and highly available dissemination of knowledge represented by semantic ontologies and knowledge graphs. Essential functionalities, hashing of name graphs for data security, smart contracts, access to the on-chain semantic data, and synchronization between nodes. What we did, we have built a child chain based on 4 GraphChain ontonodes, and each ontonode consists of a blockchain node based on Besu Ethereum client, a method of storing hashes and graph metadata in smart contracts, accessing triple store hashes and graph metadata in smart contracts, accessing triple store data from smart contracts code without using oracles. This is still to be done, and hooking up replication of graph triple stores to blockchain consensus mechanism. On top of triple store Blaze graph, storing of RDF star data in Blaze graph triple store. This is still in progress. And next step will be property graphs. Modifying iHash algorithm to include RDF star extension data model. Retrieving of Blaze graph data using GraphQL interface, both still to be done. Synchronization between Besu client and Blaze graph, and ONTOCHAI API REST. Deployment process, streamlining of installation and configuration of blockchain node through containerization technology Docker, and all components, Besu client, Blaze graph triple store, and our own modules will be containerized in separate Docker images, and the GraphChain node as the whole will be created using Docker Compose tool. Next slide, please. When we finish ontonode, please click to move the animation. No, the previous one, please. No, previous one, please.
Sorry.
Could you please click now? Okay, now it's perfect. When we finish ontonode deployment, we plan to create a use case scenario for GraphChain, which will be ontology publishing portal called ONTOHub. And this would be a central access point for all ONTOCHAIN projects creating and consuming ontologies. Please click now. Okay, perfect. Thank you. What is the vision of use case proposal for layer 2 of ONTOCHAIN ecosystem? In our vision, we see many child chains. One of them would be ONTOHub child chain connected to parent chain managed by ONTOCHAIN. And in this example that you can see other projects like Copyrightly and Pop4Commerce, and ONTOHub, of course, as well, are child chains. When it comes to modification of the Ethereum client, we have designed a unique method of graph access without using oracles. So to sum up, the whole idea is to add a new level of trust without sacrificing availability, queryability, and performance of graph databases. So our solution can be integrated in any software ecosystem that uses graph data, now RDF and RDF star, and in future also LPG. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free after the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to Pop4Commerce.
Yes, hello everyone. So Pop4Commerce.
Gianpaolo, can you please speak louder, because we cannot hear you very well.
Hello.
Very good, very good. Fine.
So Pop4Commerce stands for a practical application of ONTOCHAIN to the e-commerce vertical domain. So if you want, you could read it as a proof of concept for ONTOCHAIN on the vertical domain, that's e-commerce. So it's executed by, well, me and my colleagues from the University of Catania in Italy, and partially by a SME, that's the Sicilian Wheat Bank. So what we want to do is to leverage techniques from the semantic web in order to make commerce, electronic commerce, more usable, better understood, and ultimately more popular. So that's why we'll be delivering a stack of ontologies. And as you see on the left-hand side, we'll be delivering 3 ontologies.
OC Found, OC Commerce, OC Ethereum. As you may guess, Found has the foundational details, OC Commerce, all the details about commerce itself, and OC Ethereum about the blockchain. These are going to represent, as you see on the left-hand side, well, essentially everything: participants, offers, tokens, Ethereum smart contracts, and even trust mechanisms and mechanisms for matching demand and offer. As you then see on the right-hand side of the slide, you see there's a paradigmatic use case. There is an Apple vendor in the center that's called Apple Pay, and a paradigmatic buyer, that's Bob. Both of them have a digital identity, and Apple Pay publishes a smart contract that involves an asset. The asset in this particular case would be Apple's. So as you may see, the commercial offering is then described by a semantic knowledge base, and the semantic knowledge base, as you see on the top right, is essentially the stack of ontologies. And then ultimately, we have a semantic search engine that queries the semantic knowledge base, and that enables users to easily prop the marketplace for things that they want. Ideally at an extreme, even ignoring details such as token IDs and other specificities, and ultimately pursuing the goal of making commerce more easily accessible. Essentially, the semantic knowledge base will bring clarity and will wipe off any potential ambiguity all over the marketplace, and therefore making the interaction and the use of the marketplace easier and more accessible to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. So this was an overview of the 7 final project and what has been achieved till now. Let's move now to the frequently asked question. I just recall that you will have the occasion to ask your question just after this section. So one of the question that appears a lot is, what kind of project are you looking for? So ONTOCHAIN open call aims at project developing scalable blockchain, decentralized reputation system, and semantic web technology in order to achieve trustworthy content handling and information exchange, as well as trustworthy service exchange in the next generation internet, and this for vital sector of the European economy. So this is the overall goal, but if we go back to open call 2 specific objective, this is to implement an infrastructure that will host ONTOCHAIN trustworthy data, metadata, and services, as well as specific software solution that can be used widely, further extending the use cases and the architectural features planned by the end of the open call 1. I just remind here that it has to be done around 6 topics that are decentralized Oracle for ONTOCHAIN, market mechanism for ONTOCHAIN, ONTOCHAIN interoperability and API gateways, ONTOCHAIN network design and scalability, semantic based market places for ONTOCHAIN, and data provenance in ONTOCHAIN. The second question that we usually asked is, what are the funding criteria? So in fact, as you may know, there is 3 phases in the evaluation process. The first phase is the eligibility phase, let's say. So if you have follow the instruction, there shouldn't be any kind of problem for that. So I just recall that please follow what is written in the guide for applicants. For that, then for each proposal, there will be an evaluation process that will be done by a set of 2 experts, and this according to the following criteria. So the first one, this is the excellence and innovation. So here we expect clarity, pertinence, soundness of your proposal. And this, of course, related to the ONTOCHAIN context. And we also want a credible proposed methodology. We also go through the originality and the innovation aspect. And of course, we will also evaluate the excellence and the capacity of the applicant. Then, of course, it is very important for us to know a bit what you expect as impact. And once again, it should be mentioned in the context of ONTOCHAIN. So you have here some detail, but this figure is also shown in the guide for applicants. And finally, what is also really important, this is the implementation plan. In particular, the quality and the effectiveness of the work plan, how you intend to include it in the ONTOCHAIN framework, and so the integration capacity in the overall ONTOCHAIN ecosystem. So at the end of this phase, we will have the finalist proposal. And this finalist proposal will go for the online interviews. This phase, the third one, will have for objective to, in fact, distribute the proposal around long projects, small project, and the one that will be on the reserve list. So here again, we will be particularly careful to the credibility of the proposed project outcome based on the explanation of the proposed solution, the implementation plan, and the evaluation of the overall expected value of each project proposal. We will be also cautious about the value for money and the significance of the project outcome for ONTOCHAIN with respect to the project duration. We will also really consider the collaborative spirit and the commitment of the future team. And so you will have to show evidence of your willingness to enter the ONTOCHAIN community or ecosystem and your commitment to get involved in the future. And finally, one crucial point, this is the business compatibility. We would like to understand early exploitation plans and compatibility with the exploitation plan for the ONTOCHAIN platform. The next question that we also hear about often, this is, will ONTOCHAIN mandate to build on specific protocols? So different open source solutions already exist for the design and integration of the different layers of the ONTOCHAIN architectures. And developers, innovators, if willing and needing so, can also rely on the blockchain platform provided by EXEC, which already integrates low-level layer of an analog architecture, i.e. application protocols, core protocols, and distributed ledger. So I will come back to that later. In any case, in fact, the ONTOCHAIN project plans to redesign, extend, and otherwise integrate existing platforms and solutions so that they can become integral and interoperable part of the ONTOCHAIN software ecosystem. So the applicants are encouraged to use standard and widely used protocol to allow a graceful integration with existing softwares. This is very important. With regard to this, a community approach is necessary in order to be able to advance DLT research and innovation, and properly integrate open data and semantic with current and future blockchain. So this is one question. If we go back to the EXEC platform futures for you to better understand, the EXEC platform has been developed with more than 4 years of effort by EXEC, so an innovative SME French company whose founder came from the NRIA and the Chinese Academy of Science. The platform supports public, private, and federated blockchain solution. It connects cloud resource sellers with cloud resource buyers, encouraging an ecosystem of decentralized and autonomous privacy-preserving application, which allow to support a decentralized marketplace of application, data and resources through decentralized cloud computing in Ethereum. It can be used by ONTOCHAIN participants to base their evolution, and is available under the open source license Apache 2.0. So you have the link for more information about the code, and also for example here. I just remind that EXEC is a core partner, of course, of the ONTOCHAIN consortium, and any question that you can have about the platform can be eventually asked just after. One question also that we hear about is, can I submit a proposal considering a mainnet of my choice? So while ONTOCHAIN is open to solutions that can be supported by a number of blockchain, or current L1 blockchain choice sorry, is Ethereum. Solution employing Ethereum L2 and higher layer technology on top are anticipated to be a part of the ONTOCHAIN framework. So solution implemented into different blockchains should be able to interoperate with the rest of the ecosystem through proper bridge. So this is also very important to have everything well interoperable. Having said the above, while different mainnet can theoretically be chosen, we strongly encourage applicants to consider Ethereum for their solution prototype. So this was a set of questions that we usually share about, and it was important to mention them here. Let's move now to the live Q&A. So this is the time for you to put your question in the Q&A chat box. And of course, we will answer to it right now. Is there any question, comment, suggestion, please? The floor is up to you. It will help you in your proposal elaboration. So I don't know if you have all understand the concept, but please write your question in the chat box. I don't know, Vlado, do you want to tell us some word in order to open the debate eventually?
Hello, everyone. So we are working towards common goals in this project, which is at the cross-section of the semantic web and blockchains. And you've seen what the currently funded projects of the phase 2 have been doing. So we spent enormous amount of time analyzing all the type of proposals that we received in the beginning. And we believe we have selected proposals and projects that are complementary in nature and that can form in the future part of a software ecosystem that can be used to build trustworthy applications that can handle data and provide services in a trustworthy manner, provide information to users that is really reliable, verifiable, with a great level of credibility, high reputation, and so on. So these are the type of topics of this project, and we really truly believe and hope we're going to receive also for the second phase of our project proposals from competent and very much interested partners that would be working together with us in realizing this software ecosystem that we wish to build. So it is our real interest and let's say enthusiasm that we work together with partners throughout Europe in reaching the project level objectives. So in a way, this project is not business as usual, because we want to interact with you, we want to influence your proposals, and of course we also want to be influenced by your proposals towards reaching the common objectives of the project. So whatever questions you have, we are open to answer. So we would be also very much interested to hear about the topics you wish to submit to out of these 6 topics. The topics are designed in a way that should cover the core aspects of a software ecosystem, including the capacity for the third year to demonstrate features that would, let's say, show trustworthiness of content handling and information exchange by using blockchains and by using those software that will be developed in the first and the second year of the project. So please, if you have any comments, or maybe not questions, but maybe some comments, you feel free to say what you think.
I also recall that you can also interact with our Open Call 1 innovators. Would be great also, because the Open Call 2 is more or less the following. After the design specification, you will have to develop the framework.
So the Open Call 2 has a template. We have seen in the current applications, I think we have maybe 20 or 30 now already filled in applications, but some applications do not follow the template. So there is a template that should be followed in order to prepare your proposals. And also the topics that we have prepared based on our experience from the first year, and they are designed to be complementary. There are topics dealing with the scalability of the infrastructure. There are topics dealing with actually the demonstration viewpoint, which is let's say the marketplace for semantic web services and the provenance tracing. So we believe we have selected the core topics that together will represent a unity, would be able to combine software in future applications in order to build applications with such properties like content trustworthiness, identity management that can contribute to trustworthy content handling and information exchange and other topics like this. You can read more in the background document on all this.
So we have one question now. It is starting. Thank you. So about ONTOCHAIN technical result of the project. What is the best thing? So I would like to say that of course this is the link of the ONTOCHAIN project, and I believe that Miguel or one of my colleagues can put it in written here as answer. But you have today the opportunity also to interact directly with them. So this is a great opportunity. If you want to ask questions to them, please do so. Another question, in the proposal description template, what do you exactly mean with business model and sustainability? What do you expect to read in this section? So I believe that Thanasis should take the floor in order to explain a bit more right now. Katja?
I don't know if you can hear me.
It's fine, Thanasis.
So in this section, actually what you should describe is the business model of your software solution, how your software solution fits to the overall business, let's say, framework of the ONTOCHAIN project, how it adds value to the ONTOCHAIN project. And regarding the sustainability, it's a draft economic analysis that your operational expenses are covered by the inflows that you are expecting to have. So it's a basic economic analysis and the basic business model of your own solution, because the business viability of the whole ecosystem and of the individual components of the whole ecosystem is of crucial importance to us. And we are already planning for that. So eventually we plan that the ONTOCHAIN ecosystem is going to become a joint venture, a platform for hosting decentralized applications of the future that combine the functionality provided by the different components of the ecosystem. Some of these components you will provide, some others of you will provide demonstrators or applications to this ecosystem, but you will all contribute to the business viability of the whole venture. That's the spirit.
Thank you, Thanasis. Another question, which is more related to the topic 5, the semantic marketplace. Could you provide some more thought about what the most important goal is for the semantic marketplace? So I don't know who wants to answer, Thanasis, Vlado?
For this semantic marketplace, this is just the way how I imagine. Maybe other colleagues of mine in the project have some other ideas, but it's also included as a description of our vision, joint vision, in the background document, the current background document. So let's consider the current crypto exchanges where you go there and you want to sell or buy some coins or some cryptocurrency. So this is the marketplace as it currently functions, but the semantic marketplace has and can have much more. Let's say if we consider a car to be something that can be described with all its properties, and this can represent an ontological concept, the car, or maybe wheat, which is something that is produced in Italy in the fields and comes later on to the marketplace, but we need to know the quality of the transport, the quality of the storage, and things like this. Then we know, and we have identified already in our project, the key points that can contribute to trustworthiness, including the identities of the participants, the mechanisms of bringing together their reputation, the mechanisms of storing private data like the ONTOCHAI vote, or other mechanisms we have, the mechanisms of the marketplace, including the marketplace of, let's say, expert people, like in the Knowledgex project that we have currently running, and you know, describing an ontological concept like this and putting it on this, you know, exchange. It's not a crypto exchange anymore. It's an exchange for cars. It's an exchange for wheat. It's the marketplace of just anything that can be found. And it's not only the marketplace. I mean, it's the place where people can also do sharing of resources, can also perform other type of economic mechanisms. The idea of the marketplace is that trustworthiness at the marketplace plays really significant, very important role. So if you go to the marketplace of apples in your neighborhood, of course you are very taking a lot of care what kind of apples you would like to buy for yourself and your close people, close people. So you don't want to, you want to really build a lot of trust around these services. And this is the idea of the semantic marketplace. In the past, there have been in the semantic web some projects, very important projects. For example, the Lot2 project that instantiated this linked data movement, where they were built specific services, you know, the Wikipedia, the Wiki type of projects, like a Wikimedia project, for example, where one item can be semantically described and then can be used further on. So from the viewpoint of this topic number 5, it's good to present any type of service that can demonstrate the capabilities of a marketplace based on semantic data. And we know about solutions like this already from the past, which are not based on the blockchains. But together with blockchains, we know that there could be a lot of more credibility added to it, like the verifiable credentials, like the identities of the actors from the marketplace, reputation, and so on. So we want to see a solution like this that can demonstrate the capabilities of using underlying services of ONTOCHAIN. I hope this illustrates what we want under topic 5.
Thank you, Radu. So it seems that it was really helpful. Is there any other question? So is there anything clear about the eligibility criteria, about it's not only about the technical, let's say, things, but also from an administrative point of view, or if you are all okay, or if you need more information, do not hesitate. This is also the time. Okay, so I believe that everything is clear, and it's a good sign. So for us, I really acknowledge our 7 team to be present today, and of course I thank you for your interest, and I hope and looking forward to your proposal. So thank you very much. I don't know if my colleagues want to say also a few words. It seems not. So we can say that this second webinar is over. Of course, you will have access to the recording, and I wish you all the best for your proposal. So, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.